Hello everyone, welcome to the video. My name is Cosolix. Today we're going to be playing some more ranked, but I'm going to be going over my balanced opinions on Lance. So Summer Champs is around the corner, and after Summer Champs there's going to be a balance patch. I don't know exactly when it's going to be, but there's for sure going to be a balance patch. So I just wanted to give you guys my thoughts on Lance, what needs to be changed, buffed, nerfed, whatever. But yeah, if you enjoy this type of stuff, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, comment down below. Maybe comment down below your opinion on all this. Okay. I forgot. It's hard to, like, play ranked and, like, talk at the same time. I just start autopiloting. Oh, he doesn't have a dodge. Oh, I didn't dash that properly. This is my first game of the day, and I'm getting smoked. Great. Okay. Let me start focusing a little bit. Let me, like, get a stock, and then we'll go over the balance. Okay? Okay, we almost made the comeback. But yeah, basically, my opinion on Lance is I think Lance is in a perfect spot. There are some small things I wish were changed, though. So, one thing about Lance, which I don't like, is Lance Nair. So the back end of Lance Nair has true combos, but a lot of the time, those combos connect, but they're not true. And it's really hard to tell if it's going to be true or not. So it doesn't drop, but it drops the pickup. It's weird. It's just super inconsistent, and that makes it very difficult for me to know if I should go for a follow-up or not. And then sometimes I'll go for a follow-up and then just get hard punished anyways. So it's definitely something, if they were to change it, I don't know. I don't know if Lance necessarily needs Nair combos to be true. I think that could cause some broken stuff to happen in the future. But it would be a small buff just to, like, fix that a bit, or just, like, make it just more visible. Like, make it so, like, when it's not gonna be true, it hits them further away. I don't know, different force on those parts of the hitbox would be nice. And just making it more obvious. I don't necessarily agree with making it more, like, consistent, but just when you hit it, just know that it's true, you know? And I can show you what I mean in Training Room, if you guys really want. But, yeah, it's just hard to explain. So that's, like, one thing about Lance that I would, like, really change. I don't know. Like, I think Lance is in a really good spot. I think its gameplay is very healthy compared to what it was last year. I think it was amazing last year, but it was just a little bit unhealthy, right? You would rely on Nair too much, and if it's not Nair, you would rely on side lane recovery, and then those both basically got removed by end of the year. Also, before I go into the next point about Lance, I also want to mention that I've got a podcast. I've mentioned this in the last couple videos, but this video, by the way, is probably going to be uploaded on a Tuesday. So that means today I am recording for the podcast. The video will be up on Wednesday, and I'm just going to spoil it. The guest is Stingray. So yeah, if you want to see me and Karma talking to Stingray, asking him questions, maybe talking about a little bit of beef in the past, Brawlhalla drama, I don't know, whatever. Maybe his music career and stuff like that, because Stingray does music, if you didn't know. And just overall, the thoughts and stuff. Make sure you check out the podcast. I'm going to link the podcast down below. But yeah, okay. Let's keep talking about Lance. So, like, I don't know. Like, I think Lance is good, but I think it just needs, like, very, very minor buffs, you could say. You could nerf a certain thing to make it more balanced, but, like, just little things to, like, make it a bit more consistent. I don't know. What else would I change about Lance? Like, the Nair for sure is that, like, one thing. I don't know. Like, I just think it's, like, super balanced. Everything in the kit is good. I use everything, right? It's just, I don't know. It just doesn't feel, like, complete. I don't know. Nair's hitboxing is a little weird. Maybe a little bit of reworking on that. Often they'll be like stacked or something, and like my fire, like right there, it's just really hard to visually tell if Nair is gonna hit or not. So like, I don't know, maybe Nair hitboxing a little bit of changes would be nice, but I don't know. I just need very small changes. Start with that Nair change that I was talking about on the back end of Nair. Oh, did I touch? Oh, I did touch. Nice. Okay, I'm bad. So yeah, start with the back end of Nair hitboxing, and then maybe look at the hitboxing of Nair in general. Like, I can go over it in Training Room with you guys if you want. It's just really, really weird. But, you know, like, Lance is in the best spot it's been in years, right? It reminds me of 2019 Lance, where it was, like, not broken, but it really did feel usable. I felt like I was not playing a broken weapon, but I was playing something that, like, wasn't in meta or just wasn't really complete. whenever Lance is in meta, there's always like one thing that's like either really broken about it or kind of obvious. Like if it's the Lance Nair or was it sidelight recovery, etc., sidelight Sair. But right now, Lance doesn't really have any of those. They did buff Dare, which is really nice. I think the Dare buff was one of the best buffs to Lance in the last like couple years. It just makes the weapon a lot more complete because Dare is now actually usable. There, did you see right there? The Nair like hit him really high up. It was just, I hit that back hitbox where like it's true sometimes, but not always. It was really weird. Like here, I'll show it to you really quickly. Okay, here. So he dodges. I hit him with the far end of the reverse Nair. That is the last hitbox. That's the hitbox that leads into true combos, right? You can tell when it happens. My recovery, like, I don't know, I can't line it up there, right? It doesn't necessarily connect. And I hit him. That is the second last hitbox of Nair. You should not expect me to land that hitbox to hit your combos. That is stupid. So, like, I feel like this, like, that's not going to connect, right? It's just really awkward positioning. I can't follow up here. I've got no options here. I don't even have advantage state here. If I chase dodge up, then he can just act dare me immediately, right? And then I go for a recovery, and it's just the angling is off. It's just, that's the inconsistent part. Like, that is a reverse Nair. I hit him on the last hitbox, okay? The last main one. We don't talk about that tiny little thing, right? Like, that should lead into a string, you'd think. Even if he's in red, it's just like, I don't know. I wish I had a bit more string capabilities off Nair, and just wish it was a bit more consistent, right? And if it's like a string or a true combo, I wish I knew if it was going to be a string or true, right? It's just little things like that. It's like, I think it's going to hit. In my head, it should hit because that hitbox usually hits, but it just doesn't. I just wish it was a bit more consistent. Not necessarily true, just like know if it's true, know if it's a string. A little bit inconsistency. And like, some things with weapons is I don't like randomness. Like, if you're the player, you want to know exactly where things are gonna go and whatnot. And like, string heavy weapons are the most fun weapons. So maybe even not necessarily making it true, but making Nair set up consistently would be a nice little, I don't know, balance change. Because you'd be removing the true combos, but you would make it so you can keep following up after Nair if you take a dodge or whatever. Even if it was like 4 dodge frames. Doesn't need to be much. I just wish like it would connect, you know? So when you have it, it would just be so clean to like be able to just string off it. And Nair is not going to kill, so there's like no point. But even there, it's just like awkward. I have to like wait for a dodge and then do something. And like there, I have got no advantage state here. Like I am below my opponent. And he's unarmed, so I have advantage state. But it's not like I can keep going. I just Nair and then it's just a one-off and wait, right? I just wish it was more string heavy. But yeah, that's basically my thoughts on Lance right now. Like, I don't think it's one of the best weapons in the game. I'd actually argue it's bottom 3, but it doesn't... I'm not losing because of Lance, is what I'm trying to say. I don't feel like me losing is, like, out of my control, like I did at BCX. Like, I'm starting to feel like I can win anything, and I can beat anyone. I just need to be playing my best. But yeah, minor changes would be very nice, and would really help. And it's not like anyone else is playing Lance right now. I know Witty tries to play Lance a little bit. I haven't really seen too much of his gameplay. Lance is okay. And then, I don't know, like in EU, there's one guy, Spectre, or Scepter, I think Spectre is his name. He was playing Ulgrim, but he was on Axe only. When he was playing Lance, he was losing, so... His axe is insane. I'm not gonna take away his credit. But yeah, he plays like the opposite of me. It's weird. Like, how did that Lance Nair not hit there? He was like in the fire. I actually want to go over that and replay really quick before we end off. It's like just little visual things. It just needs to be tighter, and I don't know. Like, it just doesn't feel consistent. There's just little things that you think would work, but don't. And visually, they look like they do. How did that Nair not hit? Like, I get the back end of Nair doesn't have a hitbox, but then they should remove the flame. Like, you'll see, it was like inside the flame, and there's no visual indicator to when it ends. I don't have hitboxes turned on. Like, I can't just, like, know necessarily. It's, like, more me guessing in the moment. Do you kind of see what I mean? The hitboxing is, like, really small or something. This is without anything. Like, that looks like it should hit. I don't know. He's, like, in the fire on the side. It's just weird, bro. And then he's, like, in the fire at the end. Visually, it just doesn't... It looks weird in the moment. Like, in the moment, you're playing this game. You tell me you think that's gonna hit. Like, it looks like he just phased right through my move. It's just weird. Then when we actually turn on hitboxing, like, I understand the hitboxing and why I didn't necessarily hit him. But look at his skin. His skin is massive. His horns are in my hitbox. It's just weird. I don't know. Maybe a bit more priority. Like, look how tiny that hitbox is compared to the size of the fire, right? That fire is massive and it's only picking up, like, the top of it. It's just weird. It just allows for inconsistencies, right? Even that hitbox, it's just weird. Like, I get why it doesn't hit, but then make it visual. There's just small things with Lance just need to change. I don't think it necessarily needs a buff. It just needs to be fine-tuned, if that makes sense. It's technically a buff, but it's not. It's a very small buff. Quality of life is the best way of putting it. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like, subscribe, comment down below. I've been really enjoying me just talking about opinions and balance and stuff like that to you guys. So if you enjoy this, hit that sub, turn the notification bell on, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Take care. Love y'all.